Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode
Morning.
of Dual Coast Podcast. Russ says good morning as well from the West Coast. Hope everybody's doing well on this fine morning. Russ, how you doing after a very patriotic weekend that we just had? How you doing?
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you, if you were looking online, if you were on your social media, if you were watching the news, whatever you were doing, if you weren't, you're out of the loop. But I'll tell you, for the last several weeks, it has been unbelievable. The USA pride. And if you don't have pride, then you're out of here. It's been epic. And combined with American soccer, which last night didn't play so well.
Yeah.
Hats off to Belgium. They played amazing. But, I just got to say that over these last number of weeks, building up and the people coming in from other countries, visiting the United States, just watching all the social media as far as like Scotland, drinking all the beer in Boston, and Korea coming to the stadium with garbage bags to pick up the garbage in the stadiums afterwards. I think Scotland went around Boston as well and picked up garbage. It's like amazing. And then we had July 4th weekend. We had soccer going on. We've got Wimbledon. We've got 2 women Americans playing right now. Like, it's just like America, America, America. It's amazing. And the pride of America within me just resonates loudly. Last night went to Woodstock's Pizza, and I've watched, I think, 3 soccer matches there with my family.
Yeah.
And just amazing. So last night I told my girls, my daughter and my 2 granddaughters, who are 6 and 7, that we were going to just have to throw that in. That we were going to stand for the national anthem, right? Well, I would say, as I told you off stage, about 3/4 of the crowd, which was standing room only, was standing for the national anthem. And it was amazing, hands over hearts. And I just think that, the American pride of what we have in the USA has just been lifted high. The patriotism has been unbelievable. As I told you, like seeing the videos in New York and Washington, D.C., the fireworks and all of the ships from around the world. And I think it was France, I think, flew their jets down the Hudson. Like, it was unbelievable. Like, and the military who just went above and beyond. Like, it's just amazing. And I just feel so proud to not only be American, but the American pride. And I really feel like the last 3 weeks, like, it has really, really been lifted.
Yeah, I very much agree. I mean, they had the big shows in DC and New York over the weekend with it was a bunch of different Air Forces actually who showed up. The French actually led the way over the Hudson, and then there was a few different ones. But the Blue Angels, obviously, in both locations over the weekend, which is a huge, spectacular thing, for New York and DC simultaneously. I believe the biggest fireworks show in history was both put on in New York and DC.
Oh, what I saw was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was
the waterfall off of the Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And then mixed with soccer, right? Well, football, whatever you want to say, soccer and Wimbledon simultaneously with, 100%, man. I mean, patriotism's been at an all-time high over the past couple of weeks. I totally agree, man. And then going into 4th of July weekend, obviously that just, put the icing on the cake for us.
Yeah,
dude, 100%.
So, I just really wanted to comment this morning as we kicked off today's Dual Coast, and before we bring Joey on, that it just, I'm very, very proud. And even though, like, last night, it was a downer, we lost in the quarterfinals, it's all good. Like, the guys showed up well, they played well, and it's just, I've never watched so much World Cup in my life, and probably because it was in the United States, and then just all that's been happening that we talked about. But it's just, within me, it's like that spirit of America has just been beautiful. So, without further delay, let's bring on our man, Joey Clune. Joey's in the house.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
There he is. Speaking of America pride, look at that. Haircut, smile, baseball on his shirt.
First of all, thanks for having me. This is my first time doing anything like this, so hope it goes well. I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity.
I mean, look at that. He's got the classroom background. He's got his notes from a month ago. You know,
Yeah, around court baseball, right?
he's got his baseball. I mean, he's America through and through. Where's your hot dog?
That's it.
Bring out the hot dog. Oh,
Oh,
Joey Chestnut over the weekend.
Oh yeah.
I'm from Rochester, New York. We only eat Zweigel's pop-up and hot dogs. And if you don't know what that is, you got to come have one sometime. It's kind of like a
you know
hot
what he's
dog
talking about.
sausage hybrid.
No.
Oh, you don't?
It's something different. It's a different kind of hot dog. It's
What?
ruined other hot
Describe,
dogs.
please.
So it's kind of like if a sausage and a hot dog reproduced at the color of the hot dog, but it's got a pop open when you cook it up. The skin on the edge pops open, and it's a little shorter and thicker than your average hot dog. It's amazing. Zweigel's is a local company.
Okay.
The best hot dog I've ever had. I got to be honest.
In Rochester.
Yeah, Rochester, New York.
All right. Shout out Swaggles.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's great, man. I've never heard of that until just now.
Oh, yeah, you got to be a local, I guess.
So what have you been, Joey? What have you been doing with your summer so far? You're freshly out. Probably what, like 3 weeks?
Well, our kids got out of school. Shoot, last week was my first full week without school.
Oh, wow!
And I've been loving it. I got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old daughter, and my wife's a nurse, so she worked 4 days over the past week, and I'm on dad duty. But we got a little local amusement park called Seabreeze. I'm taking the girls there today. I went once last week. Been hanging out in pools and visiting Lake Ontario, watching the sunrise.
Nice.
It's been like, top reason to be a teacher is probably summer vacation. It really is like a vacation. It's beautiful. And, Rochester, New York, if you know anything about the weather, we have like a 6-month winter.
Yeah.
But it's hard to rival what we have to offer in June, July, and August. But I got a lot of bias toward my home area, the Irondequoit specifically. But, no, so I've been hanging out, having a lot of fun with friends. It's been awesome so far.
Good. Did you get any of the East Coast heat in Rochester?
Oh, it was 90 for like 4 straight days. I'm not going to complain about it. We don't see the sun from like November to April. So if it's hot, I'll just,
bring it out.
We got a little pop-up like PVC pipe pool in the backyard. My 4-year-old can touch bottom. It's got a little filter. It's a little cheap pool, but it gets the job done. My neighbors have a in-ground pool that they welcome us at. So I spend a lot of time in the water in the summertime.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Water and Swaggles.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, thanks for being on Dual Coast today. I know you mentioned, this is your first podcast. It's great. You and I discussed yesterday. We had a little phone chat and just like, man, let's just get on and have a great time. And let's talk school. Let's talk books. Let's talk baseball. Let's have a great time. So awesome. Joey, you're a teacher. What do you teach? What grades? What subjects?
I teach 4th grade every subject at a school I actually went to, and then I coach the varsity baseball team in my hometown. So I live in town. I'm a hometown boy in Irondequoit. So.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah, cool.
I mentioned Wimbledon off air, but on air, but when you weren't on. But Wimbledon, there's a kid for Britain right now that grew up 2 minutes from the stadium. 2 minutes. Yeah. And he's in, I believe it's the quarterfinals right now. Yeah. And so, I mean, just like what you're talking about with yourself, like you grew up in that town, you went to school there, you're now a teacher there, you're just living the dream, Rochester through and through, right?
Yeah. Well, also, Ross, having me on, like living the dream is kind of a choice too. Like whatever you're living, you can choose to make it a dream. And that's kind of my mission and what, I'm kind of on here to talk about it is what I've been working on. But you want me to go on to how I got to this point, Russ, and how I ended up being invited here?
Yeah, let's talk. Let's kind of go back a little bit, Go ahead.
All right. So listen, I never thought I'd be doing a podcast or anything like this. But a couple of years ago, it was 2023. I had to make some life changes. I was drinking too much. I wasn't really satisfied with my own behavior. I had a 1.5-year-old daughter and a pregnant wife. And it was actually yesterday was my first day of like year 4 of this. So like I sat down with myself, man, I don't know when the last day I didn't have a beer was. It was, the end of school year, 4th of July weekend. I'm like, when did I not have a drink? But I didn't know. So I sat down with like a little composition book. I'm like, I got to have an alcohol-free day. Well, then my college roommate was in town, and he's like, let's get together. Him and his wife came by. I'm like, man, even when I'm trying, we ended up having a few. So the next day I wrote day one at the top of a page, and I put a little box in the corner. It's like, check this box. That box represents you don't have alcohol today. And it was just a drinking log at first. And it was, every day I would write the next day number and check in with, did I drink or not drink, with goals for each month. And then, that year I was teaching math intervention, and I was like 90 days into it. And I was, after lunch every day, my teacher's assistant had a candy jar, and I would grab like a couple pieces of candy. So the next day, day 91, I wrote no candy. And then I'm like, holy cow, I can do whatever I want.
Wow.
So the next day I had like 6 boxes: work out, do a good deed, no candy, and whatever else. And now I have like, it's like 12 main boxes that I check in with every day. And then they all have a sub box, but it's become like a superpower for me. And it led to, on day 122, I was getting up from my morning routine, doing my journal and working out, and just started doing dishes. I get up really early, and I was like, man, the temperature of the water is whatever I want it to be at my fingertips. I did none of the plumbing in my house. I'm like, holy shit, I'm in heaven. And I ran, excuse my language, but I ran down to my journal. I'm like, oh my God, heaven is the current breath. And I was like, whoa, I live in heaven. And I decided to have that belief. And so it kind of propelled me forward with what I was doing. And then I'm like, all events that happen in my life, I'm going to choose that they happen in heaven. So anyway, it brought my mother-in-law to this book, this Og Mandino, Greatest Salesman in the World. She's like, what you're doing reminds me of this book. And I started reading this book. And Og Mandino wrote this really good self-help book. It's really thin, but it's a 10-month reading project with these 10 scrolls. So I keep doing my journal and keep going through my thing. And like August of 2024, I'm down like 30 pounds. I'm having a great time making all this progress. And I get to scroll 8 from Og Mandino. I'm supposed to read each scroll for a month. And scroll 8 is, I will multiply my value 100-fold. I'm like, oh, how am I going to multiply my value 100-fold? So I set little sub goals for all my goals. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to write scrolls for my 4th graders. So I decided, listen, these scrolls, these 10 scrolls, they've really helped me. This rereading of positive content every morning had such a positive impact on my life. Why don't I write 10 scrolls for my 4th graders to read every morning? So I did that. And then I just started writing every day. And the idea kind of bloomed. And then the scrolls turned into something bigger. I kind of had this epiphany. I'm like, I'm going to write 10 controllables. And I use the word controllables. So what is within our control? And that's the book project I've been working on. And then, I was like really excited about it, and emailing with this author who I love, this guy, Sahil Bloom, who's really inspiring. And he emailed me right back. He's like, you got to get on LinkedIn. I'm like, okay. And I have no social media, Russ. You asked me about Instagram, Facebook. I've been off. Listen, if I'm not talking to you face to face or on my phone, like,
he's from Rochester.
Yeah, right. Let's stay local.
I asked Ross, I was like, where is this guy? I can't find him.
Yeah, right. You got to look for me in Irondequoit. Come on, to town. But so I started I set a goal. I'm like, let me try to make a connection every day on LinkedIn. This was in like March, and I was trying to do that and check that box in my journal every day. Hey, make a connection. And that's how I found Russ. And you were so gracious to respond to me when I connected with you. And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah. So, sorry for the filibuster there, but I figured a little tour of how I got here.
Incredible, man. That's incredible.
That's awesome, man. I love that.
Well, at least you're on some social media with LinkedIn.
Yeah, I got on this year. I was like, okay, something. I got to, because listen, this project turned into something more. As I was telling you, Russ, it turned into like a 180-day interactive workbook for kids, ideally to start the school day with. So I guess my intent is to reinvent the first 10 minutes of the school day.
That's awesome.
And what I came up with is this program I call it the 5-star morning routine, which is journal, read, breathe, move, express gratitude. And I think to myself, I'm like, man, what if every kid in every school started every day with those 5 habits?
Mm-hmm.
Would education be better, worse, or the same? And I think better. I think, there's this concept, there's this Japanese concept called Ikigai. You guys ever heard of it?
I have not.
All right. So I drew it for you guys.
Oh,
wow.
Well, we're going to see his drawing skills. Okay.
So listen, it's a 4-part Venn diagram. where what you're good at, what you love to do, what the world needs, and what you can maybe make money doing all intersect. It's called your ikigai.
Ikigai.
Yeah. So I'm like, what am I good at? I'm good at my morning routine. Shoot, I love my morning routine. The world needs some changes in education. Maybe I could try to change education by implementing a morning routine for schools. Because I was like, what is my morning routine? Why am I flying so high every day? I'm like, well, I'm journaling, keeping the ball rolling on writing the next day number. It has led to, it takes up 4 pages a day with my goals, my affirmations, my to-do list, and my gratitude list. So I'm like, I love my morning routine. I journal, I read Og Mandino's Greatest Salesman. I read my old journals. I breathe. I close my eyes and breathe. I move, and I write a gratitude list every day. So I'm like, man, this has me flying high. And so I had to come up with a name for it. So I'm just like, all right, the 5-star morning routine. And, the concept of synergy, and it comes up in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He doesn't really tell you how to use synergy, but for people who may not know, synergy is like 1 + 1 is 5, right? When you mix 2 things together and they have a greater effect than the sum of the parts, right? Yep. So I find that when you synergize these 5 habits, it's like 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 is 25, right? 1 minute of reading, 1 minute of moving, 1 minute of breathing, 1 minute of journaling, 1 minute of gratitude. You spend 5 minutes with those things, you get the you get the effect. Listen, if every kid started every day like that, I think it could have a really profound effect. So that's my mission right now. I'm really new to it, Russell, as I talked to you about. I'm like, this is my first time. I never thought I'd write a book. I'm coaching the varsity baseball team, teaching 4th grade, busting chops with my buddies. We got Tuesday Golf League at Durand Eastman Golf Course later today. We'll be talking all sorts of trash to each other with these lifelong friends of mine. But I never thought I'd be doing this, but it's become like a passion project. And I thought I do audiobooks all the time. So throughout my whole routine, I'm reading, and I'm reading a lot of books in the self-help genre. But one thing that keeps coming up is like this idea of the minimum effective dose, right? And it is what it sounds like, for working out. If you're somebody who doesn't work out at all, the minimum effective dose might be a 1-minute walk, right? For somebody, and your minimum effective dosages of things increase over time when you build in the habits.
Sure.
But what I've learned so much is that for so many people, the minimum effective dose is 1. And what I mean by that is if you're not expressing gratitude, if you write one thing you're grateful for every day, you're getting an effective dose of gratitude. If you're not incorporating movement into your day, if you do 1 minute of running in place, you're getting an effective dose. If you're not journaling and you write the day number at the top of a page, that's your bare minimum, but it's an effective dose and it snowballs. It's really cool. If you're not reading, if you read for a minute, you're getting an effective dose of reading. But once you start to get these little effective doses, right, you do those things every day. Like, man, I can read for 2 minutes now. I can walk for 2 minutes now. I can write 2 things I'm grateful for. I can take 5 deep breaths, right? So when you start to implement the minimum effective dose of 1 of these healthy, positive habits, naturally you'll want to increase that dosage. And it's been a really cool experience for me living it. And I was just riding so high. I'm like, I got to figure out a way to share this. Love it. It started with talking to this kid. I was his mentor teacher. I actually coached him in football. And then he got a job as a new teacher, and I was his mentor teacher. And he was in my basement. We were playing darts in my basement. He saw my journal on the back of the couch there. And he's like, whoa, day 127. What are you doing, man? I told him about it. I'm like, you should try this. And like a couple of days later, he wrote day 1 at the top of the page. Now he's like 800 days in. Today I wrote day 1098. So like I know that no matter what, I'm writing the next day number. And of all things, that's my floor. I will never, ever skip a day. But like it leads me to this concept of like raising your floor, chasing your ceiling, right? So my floor used to be like, man, can I have 1 day without alcohol? It was a low floor. But I was thrilled when I wrote day 1 and I didn't have a drink. And then when I wrote day 2 and I didn't have a drink. Then on day 3, my neighbor's like, you want a beer? I'm like, no, And then I got back from my walk. He's like, "You sure you don't want a beer?" And I had a beer with him.
Mm.
But I checked in for day 4. Do you know what I mean? And just keep it rolling. But it's like, okay, how am I raising my floor? How am I doing a little bit more every day? How am I standing on higher ground? And what I realized through now I'm 3 full years into this project of, hey, never stop writing the next day number at the top of a page, is someday your floor is the roof and you realize your ceiling is the infinite sky. It's like, holy cow, I'm reaching at infinity here. But I'm standing on a roof when I used to be standing on the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Just by chipping away at it every
That's
day.
awesome, man.
Raise your floor, chase your ceiling, raise your floor, chase your ceiling. And these people, I got about 5 or 6 friends, really close friends, who've started this journal project of, hey, you write day 1 at the top of a page, and everybody's got a reason to write day 1. Maybe they're not a alcoholic or have a drinking problem, but maybe they're on their phone too much, or they're eating too many sweets, or they're not working out enough, or whatever it is, or they're experiencing too much anger. What habit do you want to track? Start with 1.
Yeah.
And everybody's got a reason to track 1 habit. And as Robin Sharma, great author, says, what gets measured gets improved. There's a saying, what gets measured gets managed, but Robin says what gets measured gets improved. And I like that. Once I started a box that says no anger, I've felt anger in my soul like twice this year. And I've been able to dispel it pretty quickly. And it used to be something I would battle with, like reactivity and having that anger pop up from time to time. But once you write down no anger every morning and have a box next to it, man, I'm going almost undefeated every month against anger. And that's just one of my boxes that I'm checking in with. But these guys who are doing this journal, it's really cool because it's a free habit. I mean, a composition notebook's like 99 cents. And you write day 1 at the top of a page. And I asked my buddy, my assistant baseball coach, who's like, he looks like Ivan Drago. He's beautiful. He's like 6'3", cut up. He was over for 4th of July. We were counting his back muscles the other day. We're like, stand like the Vitruvian Man, dude. We want to count the muscles on your back. We set the over-under at number at 12 and a half, 14. This guy's a stud. So he started with a really high floor. And I'm like, I asked him last year, I'm like, dude, how much would it cost somebody to make sure you never do your journaling habit again? What would it cost? And we don't make any money. We're teachers. He's like, man, probably $1 million. So like, and I asked everybody who started doing it, and not one of them gave me an answer under $1 million. So they've built this floor for themselves, this really sturdy floor of like, holy cow, I'm checking in with myself every day. I'm reaping enormous benefit from it. So much benefit that, man, I wouldn't trade this habit for $1 million. And when he said something like that to me, I'm like, man, I'm on something. Because this guy was the guy who needed the least improvement of all of us degenerates who are doing this thing, so it's still $1 million habit for him. So it's really led me to places like this. Russell, like, I'm like, I want to spread
awesome, man.
How effective this is, how cool it is.
No, I appreciate you sharing. And, Dan, I think that's a wrap. He's covered it all.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. I'll see you guys. I'm out.
Peace. Have fun in Rochester today. Go get sweaty.
Oh, I sure will. Dude, I'm taking the kids to Seabreeze and I'm playing in a golf league. I'm going to have a great day. God, it's going to be awesome.
So good, Joey. So good.
Appreciate it. But dude, that's the thing. Like, my buddy, and this is on the poster behind me, like, one of my best friends, like,
no better day like that.
No better day. Guy. He played college lacrosse, and his coach, community college at Herkimer, was like, no better day, guys. No better day. That was his thing. His assistant coach at college. Now, listen, I'm 38 years old, and I lived with Sean in my 20s. His name's Sean Doyle. He's one of my best friends in the world. And I was paying him rent, living in his house. And we were roommates and getting ready for work every day. And every day he would say, no better day, babe. And we'd be high-fiving on the way in. The positivity was radiating. And I'm like, man, I need that. 3 words, pretty concise, no better day. So every day before the feet are on the floor, no better day. Just repeating it. My students all know, like, I repeat it ad nauseum in my classroom. No better day than today. But that's a belief. And that gets to me to another thing that I got some notes on the side that I was like, man, make sure you talk about this stuff.
No notes. No.
So I got some notes, man. I'm like, dude, I've never done this before. I better have some refreshers. But my one is like, I've always been big on you choose your attitude. Your attitude's a choice. Yep. And what I learned recently is like, holy cow, your beliefs are a choice. And beliefs are really just your attitudes that you have over time, or beliefs are things you choose to hold as true without sufficient proof, right? So if you choose to believe something, it might not be scientifically proven, but you hold it as a belief.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like a beliefs audit with myself. I'm like, man, what are the beliefs that are benefiting me? And what are the beliefs that are limiting me? And so like, it's a beneficial belief for me to believe there's no better day than today. It's
awesome.
a beneficial belief for me to believe that I live in heaven. And for me, I've never been a godly fellow. I've been agnostic, whatever. I've been skeptical, but curious.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to the point of either way, you know, not to get too graphic, but there's allegedly 200 million sperm in an ejaculation, right? Each with unique DNA. And I get to exist. And that's just going to me. That means my dad's 1 in 200 million. My mom's 1 in 200 million. I'm 1/200 millionth cubed, just going one generation back. And if everything didn't go exactly as planned, I wouldn't be here. So I'm like, man, I live on this floating rock in the middle of this massive cosmos, and I get to do these human things like play golf with my buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky me. I got warm water at my fingertips. And as the Grateful Dead saying a circumstance, they start out that song Bob Weir singing. He's like, this must be heaven. You know, I'm like, oh, okay, Bob, 4 words, you nailed it, my man. There's some beneficial beliefs. No better day. I live in heaven. Yeah, you don't have to, but I don't. I listened to this book by Thich Nhat Hanh, The Art of Mindful Living, and within 12 minutes, I already decided I lived in heaven. 12 minutes in the audiobook, he goes, and he talks really funny. He's like, I cannot guarantee you an afterlife, but I can guarantee you heaven is here if you choose to live in it. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, dude, I already chose that. But then I got all these limiting beliefs too. Like one of my big limiting beliefs is like alcohol's a good time, right? I've been drinking since God knows when with my buddies, and like choosing to believe that alcohol is a good time has caused a lot of damage in my life personally. You know, I haven't found a way to leverage it into a positive net for me. It leads to poor eating and just, you know, it's not a healthy habit. So I haven't reached full sobriety yet, or I don't know that I'm aspiring toward it, but I know it's something I have to track and manage and kind of put myself in situations where I would be drinking and choose to have none from time to time to prove to myself that I can have just as much fun drinking water and busting chops, because you guys see I'm talking to you. I don't need the social lubricant. I'm just as silly and crazy with nothing in me, you know? So just trying to audit your beliefs. Like another limiting belief is like comparing yourselves to others. Like, oh, my buddy makes more than me, or he's got a better house or whatever. Not worth it. You got it made. Who cares? So I just want to make sure I talked about
right on
beneficial beliefs versus limiting beliefs, and that you get to choose your beliefs. Might as well put your chips on beliefs that make your life better rather than don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, I bet Dan's got a question for you that's going to, interject something into your thought brain right now.
Yeah,
what do you got, Dan?
I'm going to go back real quick to that statement behind you right there on that sign, no better day, because that's interesting to me, because it's concise, but it's very powerful. And I feel like that resonates very easily with your students because they can understand that. No better day. Now, also with the scrolls and everything that you're creating for these kids, do you feel that you're trying to change the mindset in them when they first come into school? It's a mindset thing, I'm imagining, with these scrolls. What kind of challenges do you see the mindset in these kids that you want to try to fix, would you say?
I can't. Right? Learned helplessness. You get a challenging worksheet or assignment, and having the defeated attitude before you even start is the number one thing. And I have 2 little girls too, and that's the number one thing. You know, there's a lot of words that my 4-year-old will correct us on, but I tell her the number one word you're not allowed to say is can't. And so she catches an adult saying, she's like, don't say can't. But so that's the thing with my students and my kids, like that I'm defeated before I start attitude is it's a defeating attitude. Like it doesn't set you up for any sort of success. Sure. So can you decide that I can replace the words I can't with this is hard, this is challenging, and then choosing to enjoy challenges. And one of the concepts I like to talk about is if everything was easy, life would be boring. challenges are fun. I don't want to play my 4-year-old girl in one-on-one basketball in the front yard because like competitive, it's not going to scratch my competitive itch. I probably can score at will against the 4-year-old. You know,
I sure hope so.
Right,
I sure hope so.
I mean? So like,
back her down.
right, exactly. Knock her around a little bit. Right. Make her pick herself up. No. So my thing is, it's fun to play against somebody who's comparable for you in sports or checkers or whatever you're playing. But same with the math that we're doing at school or the writing assignment or the book they're trying to read. You know, if you're in 4th grade and the only thing you want is things that are easy, then you'll be doing 2 + 2 and stuff like that, or reading the books that I'm reading to my 2-year-old.
Yep.
You know, but challenges are how you grow, and growth is fun. And having that attitude, that approach is kind of, you know, one of the missions. Like one of the things I think about all the time is like, what percentage of my life can I spend in one of 2 states? The flow state, fully immersed in what I'm doing, or the state of infinite gratitude, or a mix of the two. Can I maximize my percentage of life spent in the flow state or in a state of gratitude? And when I'm not in one of those 2 states, how quickly can I get myself back there? This breath, right? Can I get there in one breath? Can I be immersed in something challenging enough where I'm writing, working on my book, and it's been an hour, but it feels like 12 minutes? Mm-hmm. That's when you're in a flow state. Or you're hanging out with your buddies. You're like, oh my God, we got to go already. That's the flow state. You know, so how many times can you, what percentage of your life can you spend in flow or gratitude? Mm-hmm. And how quick can you get back there when you're not there?
Sure.
So good.
Sure. That's great.
Joe, you got a lot to say, man. Hey, you know what? Right after we met, you were talking about your baseball team going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you took a little deeper run.
Yeah.
And so just describe from a coach's perspective, coaching kids, which I've done for many, many, many years. But take us through that moment, or those moments of being on that practice field, being in that game, winning, going to the next round, you know, what that felt like and the joy that you got to share with the kids.
First of all, everybody gets to choose things they care about deeply, right? And for me, I love Irondequoit, the town, and I love that I get to be the head coach in my hometown. So I actually I am in a full state of gratitude to have the head coaching job that I have and to get to coach in my hometown. I love it. Sectionals are what we call our playoffs, and we haven't been to the finals since 2003. I was a sophomore, and we drew the 5 seed this year in a really tough bracket, and we go to play our crosstown rival, Eastridge, East Irondequoit. So we share a town. We're Irondequoit, they're East Irondequoit, and it was a 4 versus 5 matchup. So we're the underdog, and they had just beat us 1-0 the Sunday prior to earn home field in that matchup. So I'm like, all right, we're 5 versus 4, and we end up getting a 5-run lead in the second inning. And listen, this was probably, it's high school baseball, but this was the most crowded I've ever seen a high school baseball game that wasn't a championship game. It's probably 400 people there. And I probably knew 70% of them. You know, I grew up in this town, you know, so it was a really cool experience.
They all eat at Schwaggles.
Those Waggles dogs, man.
Dude, I'm not going to forget that.
Listen,
it's going to come up. It's going to come up often in this.
It's CWEIGLE. So we won that game 8-1. It was an awesome ride. I'm like, man. And a lot of alumni showed up for us, and we all went out after the game. It was just like, all right, if this is the end, that's a really successful season. My best pitcher was out for the year. He hurt his elbow, so he didn't throw a single pitch for us. And we go to play the 1 seed. And they won the state championship last year. We're playing at their place. And this was another packed house. And they got up 2-0 in the first inning against us. And then we put up a 7 spot in the top of the second.
Whoa.
And
you guys love the second inning, apparently.
Oh, yeah, baby. So we held on for dear life. We're up 12-5 going into the last. I got my best guy on the mound. We end up winning 12-10 with 2 guys on. So we hung on for dear life. So now we're going to the first finals in 20 years. All right. We're playing Canandaigua, and we've had a history with them battling. Love their coach. He's a great guy. We get to go play them at the stadium, and they bust in our kids to this Batavia like it's a minor league stadium. They busted these high school kids. So that our crowd was going nuts. We end up putting 3 runs up in the 3rd inning. We have the lead all game. And we're up 6-3 going into the last. We need 3 more outs. We're up by 3 runs. And we didn't quite finish. We played 6.5, not 7. It's a 7-inning full game. We lost 7-6. You know what? But I told those kids, I'm like, man, you guys got to play against your crosstown rival in front of hundreds of people. And you got to play against the number 1 seed who's coming off a state championship and beat them at their home field. You got to play in front of all your buddies and have the lead for we led the entire sectional run, except for that after the 1st inning against the number 1 seed, Mendon, and the final inning of the finals when we had a 3-run lead and just couldn't quite hang on. But our kids put their hearts out there. And it was just, you see those kids crying and knowing they put their heart and soul into it. And, choosing to respond as calmly as possible in those moments is something I've made a lot of progress at. Like, how can I help these kids? How can we get through this and realize, have that gratitude for the experience, right? Not that regret or the remorse that we didn't win. Listen, it was a ton of fun. It's hard for me to have more fun than that. I talk about a flow state all the time. And I was telling my assistant coach, I'm like, man, there's no place on earth I'm more myself than in the 3rd base box. Man, let's bunt, let's squeeze, let's go, let's play. I love it. I love coaching baseball. So thanks for asking, Russ. We had a really fun ride, and the kids loved it. And it didn't end the way we would have wanted it to, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
No better day.
Yeah,
no
why not?
Day.
Why not? Exactly.
Only one team gets to win the last game.
Dude, I know everybody on set because then they go to a state tournament.
It's amazing.
And then even after you win the sectional playoffs, right? You're gonna, unless you win the state championship, you're ending your season with a loss.
Yes.
And they only have 1 state champ, at each level of schools. So
what a great run, man! What a great run.
We'll be back at it next year, Ross. We'll be back. So I think we'll be pretty good next year. I think, but we'll see. I got good kids. I got good players that try hard and are committed to trying to win. So
it's awesome, man.
Well, we saw you in your coaching outfit, and Sam put up the promo for Dual Coast. That was awesome.
Yeah, you're like, you got 5 pitchers. I'm like, I gotta go digging.
That's some good ones though.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Good thing it wasn't you and Billy Martin, going nose to nose.
I know. I'll tell you, a couple of years ago, it might have looked like that, Ross. My relations with umpires has been one of the most positive changes in my life, and they'll tell you too. I used to have.
You better put a box up in the corner just for the umpires.
I used to have a
daily journal.
Right. No, I found out you get more with honey than vinegar. I've learned that over time. But it took me a really long time to learn that. My favorite awesome. Line is early in the 1st inning, tell my catcher to set up wide, hit the spot, make it look pretty. Blue, you're not getting paid by the hour. If that's not going to be a strike, we're going to be here all night. You're not, let's go. This is high school baseball. It's got to be a strike. Try to steal 6 inches on the outside corner.
Now you have to go up to him and go like this.
Right. I know. I'm not a fan of like the robot ump because I think it ruins the art of catching. I think about like Jason Varitek, who caught for the Red Sox, like most no-hitters caught of all time. Part of the reason is he was turning balls into strikes. He had the softest hands I ever saw. And that's a skill that I spend a lot of time coaching my kids at. I don't want it to be diminished in value because, and I happen to think baseball is like a game where your deception's part of the skill, right? If I'm a pitcher, I want my curveball to look like my fastball or my changeup to look like my fastball. If I'm a shortstop tagging a guy, I want to make him look out. If I'm a catcher, I want to make a ball look like a strike. Human error is a beautiful part of the game. And the gamesmanship between the coach and the umpire in baseball is different than other sports. It's kind of cool. I want the umpires to make mistakes. I want coaches to argue. I want them to get tossed. I think that's way better than, you're right. He was safe by this much. It's not as fun.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's awesome.
It's true because you don't want your pitcher tipping his pitch. There's a lot of different things that you look at and stuff as far as that game, but it's true. It's like an art. a lot of it is an art of deception to make it look good, by the catcher, by the second baseman, people tagging people, whatever it may be. But it's interesting. That's a good thought process. Never thought of it that way.
I saw this major leaguer just a couple days ago get rung up, with runners at second. I think runners were at first and second, 2 outs. Yeah, 2 strikes. And, he taps because he thinks. And I was like, dude, I don't know what you were looking at, but that curveball went right down the middle.
Yeah.
So it comes up on the screen.
Middle
everybody
square.
had already walked off the field because everybody knew except him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Goes
it's a tough
down.
one. Yeah, right.
True though. Yep. I feel like the robotics does take away from the game a bit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I like human error. I think it's part of the fun.
Yeah, I think so.
I agree. I agree.
I very much agree too.
In almost all sports, I'd rather have the humans making the mistakes. And listen, that's part of my whole program and what I'm working on is like, I see this technology infiltrating education
Mhm.
and changing these kids. What are they doing when they're not around? Are they looking at a screen? And I'm on team human in the final war, man. Like I want to stick with the human side of things. So anytime we can eliminate a computer or a screen,
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm a little bit
That's
old-fashioned
awesome, man.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I speak the same language.
Yeah.
I know, Russ. That's what you're on too.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. It's actually a good question. How do you portray these scrolls to your students? Is it like a handout? How do you go over it every day?
So we have a social emotional learning folder, and it started as scrolls, and like I'm looking at them right now. They're up on the wall, and then I had them read the controllables as part of like I did that 5-star morning routine in my classroom. So we would breathe for a minute I would guide them through breathing, and then they would write a gratitude list, and we'd read 1 controllable a day out loud. We would mix in movement to our work. So they would do all this, and they kept I printed out like a weekly habit tracker with check boxes for our routine so it looked like almost like my journal. So our morning routine, I was kind of testing my stuff for the first few minutes of the school day with my kids. And it was really a positive start to the day. Like when you start your day with those habits, like you just feel better. I had such an impact from reading Augmandino's words repeatedly. I'm like years into reading these, and I still I just read my annotations of it. And starting your day with some positive rereading, even for 2 minutes, it's a great way to start. So I'm like, I just mix those things together. I'm like, man, it's such a healthy, and there's not a lot of things everybody can agree on, right? In this day and age, people want to argue, people want to disagree. Everybody can agree exercise is healthy. There's nowhere you can look where journaling's not a good habit. Everybody thinks reading's good. Breath work, no doubt about it. And look into the research on gratitude. There is not a negative side effect of any of those 5 things. And you're not going to find it on any side of the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to say any of those 5 habits could be anything but positive. So why not make sure that kids are getting those like medicine to start their day?
Yeah.
Like I call my book Brain Breakfast. And it's breakfast for their brain. So that's what I want them to start the day with. Like, let's go. Let's put that kind of fuel in your brain, and you'll be riding high all day. And then they might start to find that they really like it and do it more. I think, the changes in education, knowledge is diminishing in value because it's a click away or a fingertip away to almost any knowledge that exists.
Mm-hmm.
But what is always going to be valuable is, do you have healthy habits? That should be a class kids have to take, healthy habits class, right? And just practice those habits in the class.
Yeah.
Financial literacy. They have to know how money works. And there's lots of different types of money now. So they got to be able to navigate a very strange financial world. So these are the things, like, I think there are some shifts that are needed in education. Gandhi's like, be the change you wish to see in the world. I'm like, all right, why not try to start making this change? Listen, I'm new to it. Chances are unlikely that I change the world, but why not take a swing? I'm just one guy on this floating rock, floating in this giant cosmos. If I take a big swing and miss, who cares?
Yes.
I'll be fine. So this is my little passion project, man. I'm having a good time.
That's great, man. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Love that.
Speaking of gratitude, have you ever walked up to an umpire and just told him in the first inning, hey, I'm grateful for you?
I should start. That's a great move.
That's a lot of honey, not vinegar, right there.
That is a lot of honey. I'm so glad I have you on this game.
Just, just build them up.
Throw it out
Build them
Oh,
up,
that's
right?
cold.
Okay.
Yeah, I might have to
Oh,
start
that is so
Really
good.
laying it on thick though, early, man.
What's that?
That's really laying it on thick.
Oh
early.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm grateful for you.
Yeah, I've done a 180. I had a couple of times my interactions were not of pure. They were not very pure interactions at times. I've gotten a lot better, thank God.
So you know what, Joey, we're getting close to the end here, but you've just said so many powerful things today, and you've been an amazing podcast guest.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, amazing.
First
I
time,
just
man.
want to, yeah, it's so good to connect again. I think this is like our third or fourth time, and
Yeah.
you and Indiana and I got on a call. It was really, really good stuff, so I'm excited about it. So let's talk about the Passion Project. And what I really want to go on this is not so much about your specific passion project, but what is it for someone who has something inside of them that's boiling up, right? And they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. They don't know where to start. Like,
Yeah, I love it.
tell me how that is, and what people that have that, because I guarantee there are many, many listeners today who are just sitting there holding something within them that need to share it. They're passionate about it and they're not following through. What can they do? I
think that's such a great question. For me, if you asked me 3 years ago, 3 years ago today, I wrote day 2 at the top of a page. In those 1,098 days, I've become a totally different version of myself. Never even dreamt of writing a book or doing any of that. I'm like, I love being a teacher and a coach in my hometown, and I still do and always will love that. I just had more in me, so I just started doing it. And I think, there's 2 points I want to make. I believe this concise thesis. If a human writes day 1 at the top of a page and never ceases to write the next day number, then by day 365, they'll have made more progress than they even set out to make in the first place. That's the first thing I believe. So if you just check in with yourself every day and start a snowball of writing a day number at the top of a page, your brain is full of infinite possible thoughts. A blank piece of paper is full of infinite possibilities. When you put those two together, you square infinity. So good luck, man. You can do whatever you want with a blank page if you check in every day. The other thing is that's built into my book. Here's what it is. So for the first 90 days, it starts with just write the number 1 next to the word day and check this box that you did it. Then it's like write the number 2, take a deep breath, check these 2 boxes. Then it starts to be like, okay, write the number 8, take 3 deep breaths, read controllable 1. And for 3 days, they read each controllable. And we gradually work toward the 5-star morning routine. And if they do that for 30 days, on day 91, they start their self-directed goal, which is really scaffolded throughout how to set a goal. I took together a 6-step goal setting process. First of all is create an aspiration list. And I divide it in a T-chart. Things I want to get better at, things I want to achieve. These are your aspirations. You can come back to it anytime. This is an old Jim Rohn exercise, by the way. He said, write down anything you want to achieve in the next 10 years. Anything you want. And I kind of made it more kid-friendly. Define the word aspiration. Okay, what do you aspire to be better at? What do you aspire to achieve? Write down anything. Sky's the limit. No limits. Write them all down. Okay, pick one to focus on. All right, then we're like, okay, write down anything you could do every day that would take you closer to that aspiration. So I'll just give you an example. I want to make the varsity basketball team as a sophomore. Okay, cool. Well, write down anything that would help you make progress. Dribbling with my left hand for 2 minutes a day, whatever, anything. Then pick one you think is achievable, and we make it a SMART goal. I have a SMART goal form from.
Yeah.
I will dribble for 2 minutes with my left hand every day. I will never miss a day. Is that achievable? Yeah, I can spare 2 minutes. Can you go above 2 minutes? Sure, but you can always find 2 minutes. Then after you do that for 30 days, you reflect And every 30 days, they set another SMART goal. And by the end of my 180-day workbook, they're tracking the 5-star morning routine, the 6th star, which is do a good deed, and 3 of their own personal goals. They can be all toward one aspiration. So they can work on 3 goals that all help them make the basketball team. Or maybe they work on a goal for the basketball, a goal for being a piano player, and a goal for being a better writer, whatever. So you're working on 3 different goals. So now they're tracking their progress toward 3 different aspirations. They can go all in on one aspiration if they can only think of one thing they want to achieve. But we need to start inspiring these younger kids to choose aspirations and then empowering them to pursue them. And that's what I'm working on for my project. And I think we should mix that into the school day. And what I think I'm really selling to districts, and my book works for non-districts too, but like it could work for anybody in that like 10 to 18 range, honestly, is can you spare 10 minutes a day? Or I can actually sell it as 5 minutes. So the lower amount of time, because teachers are all complaining, we'll all complain about, hey, we can't lose instructional time. Oh, don't say can't.
That's right.
How valuable is it?
Where's your 4-year-old telling her?
Right. Don't say can't. But how valuable is your instructional time? Really, can you spare 10 minutes of the school day total or 5 minutes of the school day total to get every kid off to a guaranteed good start? And what I think it'll help is attendance numbers. Attendance is a big push right now in schools. People are, ever since the COVID cancellations, the attendance numbers have gone down significantly. And I think when you have momentum, hey, I just wrote day 24. I need to get to school so I can write day 25.
Yeah.
That motivation. Man, there's nothing you could do, nothing in the world you could do to stop me from writing day 1099 tomorrow. I'd have to be paralyzed, unable to do it.
Yeah.
Or dead.
Yeah.
Honest to God. So when you have that snowball growing, you're like, I want to make that snowball another day bigger.
Love it.
So I think that's how we kind of, if you have a passion project, write it down. Give yourself something definite to chase. And then break it into I call it a process-based goal. Okay, what can you do every day as a process? I can't guarantee you're going to achieve your aspiration, but I can guarantee you'll get closer to it if you do something every day that takes you closer to it.
That's right.
And that's pretty simple.
Love it. It's great stuff, man. That's
Thanks.
great stuff.
Awesome.
Man, if I had a kid that was in the 4th grade in Rochester, New York, I would want them to go in your class.
Oh, thanks, Ross. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true though, man, because it also creates accountability at the same time. It's like almost like your accountability partner in a way, because every day you're writing something different down. You're setting a new goal for yourself and you say, okay, did I achieve this? Did I not achieve this? And when it's right there on paper for you, you can relate to it a lot better. Because I feel like when people say, all right, I'm going to do this today. I forgot about that. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I forgot to do it. When it's right there in front of you and you could visualize it, that's why people have vision boards and things like that. You see it right in front of you and you could set that goal. You could write that goal and you see that goal. I feel like it makes you more apt to achieve it.
And I set so I keep my monthly record next to all my goals. So I just wrote up what like a page looks like, something like this.
Okay.
And like next to each box, I'll write, I'm 7-0 so far this month. Like my right and here goal, I'll never miss it.
Undefeated.
So like, but I'll be undefeated at that. So I keep a monthly scorecard. At the end of the month, I reflect and restart. So I'm never that far away from a restart. And like, sometimes I'll incentivize it with my wife. Like, if I have a sweet this month, I owe you $100, because sometimes I battle with like a cookie or a brownie. I'm like, oh man. So if I have to pay $100, there's not a cookie worth $100 to me. Right. Unless I've been drinking and then I end up owing my wife $100. I'm like, I had a cookie last night. And it's not one, it's 6 cookies, I'm mad, Like, well, I already owe her $100 and we might as well have a bunch of cookies. That's I'm part of
Oh, that's awesome.
Disadvantageous to my own personal development, my personal progress.
That's great, man. That's
great.
No, this was awesome.
Cool, man. I appreciate it.
Skoka's got one last question for you.
I got one more question for you. I got one more question. You're gonna like this one too.
Yeah, you're gonna love it.
You're gonna like this one. This fits the mold right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a saying or a statement that we end every single podcast with for Dual Coast in general, and that statement is: wellness is not about perfection; it's about progress. What would you say that statement means to you?
For me, it means play the long game, right? I'm playing the long game. I'm going to make mistakes. Just show up again tomorrow, right? Progress over perfection is a great way to think about it, but you're playing the long game, right? You're
Yep.
going to have days where you're not your best, where you're tired or you're not feeling great. You got to check in. That's where the floor comes in. When you have a really stable floor, it's like, all right, I'm going to have a floor day today. I'm going to write in my journal. I'm going to do my basic workout. You know what I mean? I've seen people call them like A, B, and C goals. Basically, your A is like your best day. Like, I'm feeling great. I'm going to get all my stuff done. So like my writing goal, because I've been working on this book, is I have to write for 10 minutes a day. Some days I write for an hour, but I have to write for 10.
Yeah.
I have to check in, right? So progress over perfection. Maybe I write 10 minutes of uselessness, but I got my computer out and I write. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yes.
so that progress is, I think it means play the long game. And sometimes I talked about minimal effective dose, right? Or minimum effective dose. Some days you got to live at the minimum effective dose. Do one push-up.
Mhm.
Okay. You did push-ups today.
Mm-hmm.
You could check the box. Walk for 1 minute. Take 1 minute or take one meditative breath. Okay, you can spare that time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't think of much you're grateful for? Think one thing. How about you're alive? Good.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yep.
So that's what it means to me.
That's awesome.
Amazing, man.
This has been amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
It's a great start. Great start to the Tuesday today,
Yeah,
man. It's so good.
What a day.
Yeah.
No better. None better.
And I always tell my granddaughters, at the beginning of the school year, and of course they remind me throughout the school year, I said, just remember this, because my dad would always say it to me. Then he said it to my son. Now I carry on the tradition to my granddaughters. And I said, just remember, 2 + 2 is not 4, it's 5. They're like, G-Dog, no, it's 4. And I go, no, watch. So just a joke,
Yeah,
but just so much fun, and you make it so much fun for your class. I guarantee that if I was in that class, if I was a fly on the wall, it would be unbelievable. So what you're doing, Joey, not only in your classroom, not only with your children, but what you're starting with your passion project is going to just go beyond what you ever dreamed of. But I just love the fact that you put down on paper your passion project of what you wanted to do. And now you're on the brink of launching this project out. And I hope that schools wrap their arms around it and are wrapped around your passion, and that lives will be impacted, because that's what it's all about.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, Russ, for having me. Thanks, Dan. It's been
Joe,
awesome.
it's been great, man. Thank you so much.
Glad we got the microphone to work.
Yeah.
All right.
And we're not going to ask where people can find you, but we'll just say, hey, go to Rochester, hit Swaggles, and you'll probably find Joey Clune. Oh, maybe out on the baseball field. Who knows? We're on a golf course.
His LinkedIn.
Yeah. Hey, they're building us a turf baseball field, so we'll be playing on turf next year.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Rainy spring Rochester weather. The turf is a lot more playable, so that'll be good.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
All right, guys.
It's been great. Thank you so much, Joey, for coming on today. Please, everybody, check out Joey on LinkedIn. Check out his Joey. What are you going to call it again? The book or the scroll?
It's called Brain Breakfast, and then the
Brain
subtitle is Goals, Gratitude, Growth. It's about goals, gratitude, and growth.
Awesome.
So,
check out Joey on his
Great
link.
job, man.
Thanks.
Please check us out at Dual Coast Podcast on all social media handles. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. Thank you, Joey, again. We will see everybody next week.
See you guys.
See you, Joey.